morning and welcome to Market Opening on our collab show between Business Today and India Today TV. Just after 9, we're here to get you all the market opening action. Let's take a look at what's hot in the corporate and financial world today. Big exclusive for you on PSU banks. The government has wrapped up interministerial consultations to raise the FDI limit to 49%. Sources tell Business Today TV. A cabinet note is expected soon as the centre looks to strengthen state-run banks. IPO action continues on Dalal Street as Corona Remedies and WakeFit Innovations to list today, with grey market signals indicating a positive debut. One main board IPO, KSH International, and 3 SME issues lined up this week, while ICICI Prudential AMC lists on Friday. Television prices likely to climb 3 to 4% from January, reports suggest, hit by a global memory chip shortage and the rupee depreciation beyond 90 to the dollar. Low domestic value addition and higher import costs are squeezing manufacturers. Global markets remain cautious after U.S. stocks closed lower on Friday. Futures are flat after a mixed week on Wall Street. Asian markets slip after key China economic data. GIFT Nifty signaling a gap-down start, while silver retreats and gold hits a 7-week high. Elon Musk's SpaceX, more than 20 years after its founding, is preparing for an IPO next year, says Bloomberg. The company's new stock price points to an $800 billion valuation, a record-breaking move in the global space industry. First up, the big Business Today exclusive. Sources have revealed that government is set to consider raising the FDI limit in public sector banks. For more on this exclusive report, let's go across to Karishma Sudani. Karishma, what are you picking up from the corridors of the Finance Ministry, and how soon is this going to happen, as the markets have been waiting for clarity on this?
Well, we're learning from our sources that Ministry of Finance has completed interministerial consultations on its proposal to increase foreign ownership in public sector banks from current 20% to that of 49%. Let's not forget that it was about, say, 2 months ago that we had learned about this, and now there is a development in this. In fact, we are being told that a cabinet note is likely going to be floated soon, and just before budget this could have consensus if the cabinet takes it up. One of the big reasons why government is wanting foreign ownership to come into public sector banks is in order to, of course, get foreign capital, but it is also to bring Indian PSBs on a global competitive platform on an international market, especially with the credit demand rising in India. In fact, policymakers also believe that over the years, public sector banks have seen less market valuations in compared to their private peers, despite the fact that their balance sheet and asset quality has only got better with each year. In fact, we have currently 12 public sector banks, and recently a lot of reform changes in private sector banks, which now also involves getting FDI of up to 74%, has made them competitive on a global scale. And if PSBs are given this chance, then they'll do better too. And India has always aimed to have its public sector banks become one of the top names when it comes to global markets.
All right, that's on the PSU banks. We're also joined now by my colleague Shailendra Bhatnagar, Chief Analyst and Editor Markets. Shail, good morning. So far, the setup is looking tepid, really reducing any kind of momentum, brief momentum that we might have seen late on Friday. Nifty 50 showing a gap down, and clearly it's the global sentiment weighing again. Very mixed, given that tech is once again looking weak and that sell-off ensuing. Mixed cues coming in from Wall Street, from Asia this morning in terms of data, and of course lots of other troubling news coming in around the world. Shail.
Well, Aabha, good morning first of all, and a very warm welcome to all our viewers. We'll take that as an opportunity to get into the market on the long side. So what's happening is strength on Bank Nifty and the Nifty is looking better after 2 weeks of continuous selling. But Thursday and Friday were good. We've added about 280 points, yet ended lower on a weekly basis. So the trade is skewed in favor of longs. This early morning dip that is coming on the index should be used as an opportunity on the long side. Of course, please consult your financial advisor. But lots of quality stocks in the financial services space and the housing space are doing pretty well. Keep an eye out on PNB Housing. There is strength coming back into it. Look out for Ambuja Cement on the long side. Sundaram Finance is looking good, and of course the all-time favorites, AB Capital, L&T Finance, Cholamandalam Finance. These are all stocks which have corrected over the last 2 weeks and are now again giving an opportunity for smart buyers to be back on the long side. Of course, you need to consult an independent financial advisor should you want to make a short-term or a long-term entry. Aabha.
All right, we'll also get Amrish Baliga in just a moment. We're just counting down to market opening. So let me just recap some of the other newsmakers for you. A few brokerage views also. CLSA, an upgrade to a hold to JSW Energy, target price of 486 coming in there. UBS has got a buy call on Federal Bank, target price of 310, that's from 250, so looking good on Federal. Jeffries has got a buy on Hindustan Zinc with a target price of 660 on Hindustan Zinc. So some of these, of course, have been key favorites in the market. Federal Bank, Hindustan Zinc, and continuing to attract positive brokerage upgrades. Morgan Stanley's got an equal weight on Lenskart with a target of 445, saying that at current levels, it's fairly valued. That's the opening bell for you. Let's pull up some of the movers and shakers this Monday morning. Take a look at where we stand. The index itself is just marginally down at 26,003. So not too bad given that we're still holding 26,000. Nifty Bank is down about 0.25% right now. Let's pull up some of those index gainers and losers for you and take a look at where some of the action is coming in this morning. And as Shell was anticipating, Shriram Finance, top of the charts, 0.5% up there. Asian Paints is back in action this Monday. Bajaj Auto, SBI Life, Coal India, and it looks like that is the end of the gainers list. So the mood is clearly definitely skewed on the downside. Trend, NTPC, ONGC, 1% cuts coming in on some of these names this morning. Let's pull up some of the other losers for you as well. It's pretty much across the board, not necessarily theme-based. Cipla, Hero, NTPC, everything is trending lower right now. We do have some newsmakers. We'll continue to pull them up for you. 197 has put in over 2,000 crores into Paytm payment services through a rights issue. We'll see if that's reacting to anything. We've got Bharat Electronics with orders worth 700-800 crores. So that's upping its order flows, and that's one that's in the news as well. Let's pull that up as well. We've got ESAF, Small Finance Bank, saying that there has been an approval from the board for a sale of up to 1,700 crores of NPAs. So we'll pull that one up and just see if that's held. The pool carrying a provision coverage of 94%. So it's good news, and that's about 0.4% higher. Federal Bank with a buy call. Let's pull that up and see if it's reacting as within the Sun Zinc, which was one of the stars last week as well. Just on opening ticks, Shell, what are you spotting?
Well, Aabha, just as the gift Nifty was pointing and the weakness that has crept into from Wall Street and Asian markets, you have a downtick on the Nifty. I wouldn't be worried at all. Over the last two trading sessions, we've added 280 points. So 80 have been taken away in the market from the very start. Advanced decline is weak, 1:2 favoring bears. 880 stocks in the green, 1555 in the red. So the first 15-minute candle on the Nifty will be of consequence. 19 indices that we track, 18 are in the red. So that's selling pressure coming in. Auto under pressure, pharma under pressure. You have the least amount of pain coming into metals and the banking space. So they are looking strong. Buy the dips into metals, in particular Hindustan Zinc, driven by silver. Silver ideally should be doing very, very well, and I'm looking at a price beyond 2 lakhs per kilo. This is a trade that we've suggested ever since 1,10,000, so that's doing phenomenally well, and therefore Hindustan Zinc. Overall, the mood is dullish. Let's just
Okay.
accept it.
Amrish, good morning, and thank you for being patient with us as we just recap the opening bell. Markets have been sluggish now for a couple of weeks, and we've just been talking about how absolutely no trigger is driving any kind of reaction from the markets. What's really going on according to you?
See, the big trigger we were expecting was the US-India trade treaty. Now, we don't know as to when finally it will happen, whether it will happen in January or whether it will happen in March. So I think that's on the back burner as far as the markets are concerned as of now. And I think the pain is more on the mid cap and the small caps. I mean, we have seen a very sharp decline, although we saw some amount of bounce back recently, but that's nothing compared to the sort of a fall which we have seen. But then overall, if you see, the MF flows have been extremely good. I think November was again another record. The macro numbers are decent. You had a decent Q2 earnings which surprised in the positive. Now, if the Q3 earnings also show a similar trend, I think the stage would be set for a good rally, including, I mean, budget expectations, and if the budget is good. I mean, the way I would see it is if one has the confidence and the courage and liquidity, possibly it's a good time to start investing again.
All right. It's interesting that you brought up the trade deal because you're absolutely right. That's the one big overhang that we continue to see. In terms of the news that we're getting, source-based news, Amrish, on PSU banks and allowing those FDI limits to be increased, do you feel perhaps that could provide a fillip when it comes to the PSB banking space? Are you watching out for that, or does that not move the needle for you so much? Because it's something that we were anticipating, then it got rolled back. Now we're hearing from our sources that it is under consideration.
Just like the way private sector listed entity managements, the way they deny certain, strong rumors, and then it finally happens. I think it's similar in case of PSU banks. I mean, you had the ministry coming and denying that there would be any increase in the FDR limit or even the consolidation, which we've been talking about. This is just about 2-3 weeks back. And now we are saying that finally it's going to happen. Yes, I mean, this will surely happen. The FDI limit would be increased. And at the same time, over the next few months, we'll also see consolidation happening. As far as the PSU banks are concerned, finally, I think we'll have only about 4 or 5 banks. So from that, and again, looking at the sort of, earnings growth, which, most of the PSU banks have been showing, balance sheets have improved. I think it's still a good time to get into these PSU banks. I think we should see a very good rally over the next 9 to 12 months.
Okay, we've got a nosedive in a company, Refex, post a raid that's come in. That's down about 10% right now. Remember, this one trades in eco-friendly refrigerant gases and responsible for coal procurement and so forth. SEBI has imposed a penalty on the chairman, and the IT department's been conducting a survey. So that counter is seeing a 5% knock. That's the news on Refex this morning. I just want to pull up Coffee Day and PVR Inox. Let me actually pull up PVR Inox. I won't be surprised if this is a Durandar effect, but let's just take a look at the counter. And right now, it's definitely seeing a nice big up move coming in, 4% up on a PVR Inox this morning. Shell?
Yeah, Abha, I think I don't have the latest as far as the stock is concerned, but it's unfortunately not doing well in the markets. Let me find out what the latest is. But,
let me ask Amrish, meanwhile, if he's watched Durandar. Amrish, have you been to the movies this weekend?
No, I have not, but I plan to see it, no doubt, because it seems it's an interesting sort of a story.
All right, and let me also pull up Coffee Day because, is this on the radar of traders, if not a long-term investment? How would you view it? Because we are starting to see some kind of momentum building up there. 10% up today, upper circuit even last week.
Coffee Day, clearly, I think they've lost the plot. And I really don't see a major revival. Yes, I mean, we could see some short-term sort of gains coming in based rumors and news, but I really don't see. I mean, this was the largest coffee chain at one point of time, and it was a trendsetter. And see as to where it is today. And with Siddharth not being there, I don't know whether they can get back to where they were earlier.
Okay, extremely volatile on a coffee day between last week and the earnings and then this week. So it's, as Amrish said, possibly better to stay away right now until we kind of see what's happening here. We've got Hindustan Zinc back in action, up about 2%. That's on the buy call I was mentioning this morning. 660 is the target from a Jefferies coming in, expecting a strong rise on EPS as well. And FY28, Hindustan Zinc is at 568 right now. Amrish, what are you making of Hindustan Zinc and other attractive opportunities from the metals pack? Because there's been no stopping the action there.
No, I don't know whether you should call it Hindustan Zinc or Hindustan Silver.
Yes.
Because, I mean, if you
Good
see
point.
because the last couple of years, if you see the bottom line, about 40% of the bottom line was contributed by silver. And with silver prices doubling in just a very short time, you can just imagine as to how much it will contribute to the bottom line. And yes, very much possible, 660,
Yeah.
very much possible in the stock.
All right, so that's on Hindustan Zinc this morning. Amrish, what are the other key names that you're watching out for? If we do look to go long or buy something in this market on dips, what would be attractive to you right now?
I mean, I would buy something like a Varun Beverages. I mean, here it's been subdued for a decently long time. And the good news is that, I mean, they have been able to maintain, I mean, their market share despite the sort of, I mean, introduction of Campa by Reliance. Yes, it has affected to a certain extent initially, but they've been able to hold the market share post that. And now they're getting into Alcobevs, starting in Africa, should be in India very soon. So Varun Beverages, in fact, I have a target of about 612 over the next possibly 8 to 10 months. And the other one is Gland Pharma, where I have a target of 2,400. It's the fastest growing injectable manufacturing company, a global footprint of about 60 countries.
All right, couple of interesting picks coming in there from Amrish. We're at 925. Shell, what else are you tracking? I think Indigo, let's just pull that one up as well because it's seeing some amount of a bounce back today. Not sure how much to read into that at this point, even though largely brokerages have been positive. Regardless of all that ensued last week, there really hasn't been too much of negative commentary apart from maybe, you know, an impact in the more immediate quarter. Shell?
Yeah, Aabha, I think my energies are only concentrated on metals. Look at Vedanta, record high, and again the parent company of Hindustan Zinc. Remember, Hindustan Zinc is the mothership from which Vedanta gets thousands of crores worth of dividend. And of course, there is an impending demerger in Vedanta. So that is something to be looked at. And of course, the underlying gold theme working in Muthoot Finance, fresh record high, 3,846 for you. So it's metals, metals, and metals all the way. Keep an eye out on Hind Copper as well. This is a stock which is a third of a percent higher, 383, again aiming towards a fresh record high. And of course, the underlying theme is stronger copper prices in the metals market. So it's silver, zinc, gold, copper, metals, metals, and metals.
All right. Amrish is smiling as well. It's clearly the flavor of the moment, at least one pocket of a market that we're not seeing volatility on. But you mentioned the trade deal, and Amrish, let me just get, you know, a view from you in terms of any other sectors or pockets that you're watching out for ahead of the budget, because whether it's going to be via the trade deal or via, of course, what the government chooses to do in terms of boosting up certain sectors, I think that's going to be critical as well going ahead.
Yeah, I mean, see, if the trade deal happens, then yes, I think one should be positive on textiles because that's the one which was affected quite a lot. And other than that, I would surely still be positive on consumption because we have seen consumption increasing post the GST reforms, as well as auto and white goods. I think these are the three sectors where I would be quite positive on.
All right, great. Amrish, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Great start to Monday, getting a perspective from you on really how things stand right now. Business Today dominated the Business Awards at the ENBA, winning top honors across key categories. The channel was recognized for Best Business Program English for Easynomics with Siddharth Zarabi, also named Best Business and Finance Journalist in Hindi and English. Business Today further won Best Business Channel Breakfast Show and Best Business Channel Anchor Sakshi Batra, with Market Masters and Market Guru honored as top business talk shows.
And would like to applaud The winners are here. मैं चाहती थी आप लोगों के लिए तालियां बजे क्योंकि मुझे कोई दिख नहीं रहा है.
From overnight global cues to live Dalal Street moves, we decode what matters for your money today. From stocks to sectors to the top business news. We've got your morning game plan covered. Watch me, Aabha Bakaya, as I bring you the opening bell action Monday to Fridays, 9:05 a.m. only on India Today.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to you on Business Today Television. Monday starts with a back foot on Dalal Street. Weak cues coming in from Wall Street, as also the two-day rally Thursday and Friday for the Nifty, in which it added about 280 points. Nearly half of it has been taken back by the market. So Nifty now testing 25,900, down 130. Both bank and IT, two important constituents of the Nifty, slipping 200 points each on the index, and that's the reason why you see this retest of 25,900 happening on the markets. Broadly, the advance decline ratio is negative for the moment. You have more stocks falling than rising, and at this point of time you have about 900 stocks in the green versus 1700 in the red. So it's an easy 1:2. It's only the metals index which is showing signs of strength. Keep an eye out on Hindustan Zinc 0.9% higher. Hindustan Copper is doing pretty well, and of course nothing much happening on the broader markets as far as prices are concerned. Nevertheless, let me point out outliers. Amongst the top gainers on NSE 500 is the cement pack Nuvuco, still below IPO price, 4% higher, 359. Lots of buying coming in stocks that have been beaten down. Look at Amber Enterprises, now 2.3% higher, 6,780. You have strength coming into HEG, which is the graphite producer for iron companies, 1.9% higher, 545. And of course, Keynes showing signs of an uptick, 1.5% higher, 4335. And look at Indigo, up for the third day. Now that the news has moved away from the front pages, Indigo seems to be doing well on the charts. That's the setup for the morning, ladies and gentlemen. Joining us on the show is Vaishali Parekh, VP Technical Research and Analysis at Prabhudas Leeladhar. Namaste Vaishali ji, a very warm welcome. Are you watching the Nifty down about 130, a view on the Nifty and a view on Hindustan Zinc?
Definitely. So yes, Nifty did attempt to hold on to 25,600 levels, and that's what we feel even now. 25,600 should act as a good support, and we have a hurdle at 26,150. So once we see a clarity of a move either ways, we can expect a further up move. So right now it is a sideways move. I would say 25,650 as support, and 26,150 to 26,400 would be the range to be looked into for this particular week. As far as Bank Nifty is concerned, well, I think right now we have seen a weak start, but well, the financials did pick up last week, and I think it's too consolidating as well. So 58,800, 58,700 acts as a support, and 59,700 would be the resistance for this week.
Okay, Geojit Finance in top form. It's the second most active traded counter on the National Stock Exchange now, 5.4% higher. 332 crores has been traded, and that's because a single block deal of 4.25 crore shares has happened, worth at about 68 rupees and totaling about 290 crores. That's the status that is on Geojit Finance. Coming to you, Vaishali, Anything in terms of stocks catches your fancy on the long or the short side on the first day of the week?
So well, I'm seeing a good pickup coming. Of course, we all know about the metal sector. So Vedanta is the stock now which needs to buck up. The other stocks which I do like, one is Adani Green picking up good momentum. So 1058 is the price right now. I would say 1030 should act as the near-term support. This can do 1080 also. So this is one of the stocks to my liking. The other one which we are looking at right now is NPCC picking up good momentum. So I would say 105 would act as a support. Needs to cross 113 to 115 to look for targets of 120, 123. These are the stocks which look pretty good at these levels.
Fair point, 933, and it's not looking good as far as the Nifty and the Bank Nifty is concerned. There is selling pressure emanating on the top ones. Let's look at what the pullers and draggers are telling us as far as the main index is concerned. You have selling on banks, and therefore HDFC Bank is pulling the Nifty down by 20 points. Reliance pulling the Nifty down by about 12 points. Pain in ICICI Bank, Bharti Airtel, M&M and ONGC. This is how the Nifty stacked in terms of points. Pulling it up, Indigo, a stock that is now up for the third day in a row after a massive 2-week beating. Vaishali will keep the charts ready and her view as well. Lever, Asian Paints, Ultratech Cement, Shriram Finance and BEL contributing 12 points on the index. So lightweights are up and heavyweights are down, and that's the reason you see a 133 point downtick on the Nifty. Now the test of 25,900 is on way between the bulls and the bears, and of course Tuesday being the weekly expiry of the Nifty, you should be expecting a weak to sideways trend. Vaishali, what are the charts of Indigo telling you?
Well, we've seen a good corrective move right from 6,000, the near-term high of 6,000 to 4,650. So 4,650 technically also holds to be a very good support. So one can expect a bounce, and this would become a good favorable risk-reward ratio. As long as 4,650 levels are held on as support, I think not in a hurry though, but this stock can show a bounce coming up to at least 5,400 to 5,500 levels. So this is the way I would look at this stock right now.
Over to you, Aabha.
All right, so talked about metals there, of course, continuing to be top of the charts. So that's clearly one pocket of action. Vaishali, from the banks, let me get your perspective as well. We've got a buy call on Federal this morning. We've got PSBs back in focus on account of rumors that we could see that increase in FDI limit once again. And financials, as Shell was saying, looking good on the charts. What's looking attractive to you at these levels?
Hi, Aabha, good morning. So I would say yes, I agree with the Federal Bank, because in spite of all the choppiness that the market has been witnessing in all these days, this stock has held on very well. So that implies the inherent strength. So I would say, well, even now, I would say 252, 255 would act as a support. And gradually this can go towards 270 levels. So my view is positive on Federal Bank. The other stock that you asked me is which one?
PSBs, public sector banks.
Oh, well, I guess it's just a lull. I don't see much of a movement happening right now. But, well, it is holding on, so let's wait and watch.
All right, great. Okay, that's on the banking names. I'm also just looking at the larger markets right now in terms of, where else we've been seeing some amount of activity. Where would you say would be a safe haven play right now, Vaishali? Would you go with pharma? Would you go with IT? What would you stick to as a safer bet with markets looking a little uncertain right now?
Well, pharma and IT are technically quite well placed, but I would say in a market like this, one should stick on to the stocks which have a steady, clear trend. But having said that, I would really look into stock specific like Persistent, etc. They were doing pretty well. Even TCS is yet to perform. So in the IT sector, these look good. Even in the pharma, I would look at DV's lab 6200 acts as a good support. So we would rather wait for these stocks to come closer to support levels and make a buy, because we are witnessing a very narrow range as far as the market is concerned and choppy move as far as the stocks are concerned. So stocks preferably with a good strong trend coming closer to support, I would focus on those.
9:38, ladies and gentlemen. 128 points down on the Nifty. The Bank Nifty now slipping. Now 250 points down, and IT is pulling the market lower as well. Let me just point out volume buzzers, stocks that are moving up and down on strong volume show. PVR Inox is something that Aabha has marked 3% higher. Aabha, it was down for 9 successive days, and with Dhurinder doing very, very well on the box office, I think there's value buying happening there. Although the longer term outlook on cinema halls, especially on the listed ones, remains extremely bleak. That is what is happening on the cement space. Nuvuco, this is something that I was hoping Vaishali will take an eye on. 5.6% higher, very, very heavy volume, 710,000 traded. Vaishali, what's happening in the cement space? Stocks like Ambuja, Nuvuco, Ultratech, and of course Shree Cement showing signs of life. Which one is your top pick, and a view on Nuvuco?
So Nuvuco, of course, well, it is a good strong bullish candle, but I'll see a near-term hurdle coming at 380. So unless and until the stock moves above 380, I would just take it as a trading bet. But of course, my eyes are focused on Ultratech Cement and Ambuja. Ultratech I would go for, and I think it is still a good buy at these levels too. So I think cement on the whole is showing signs of revival. So I would focus on Ultratech.
Okay, we've got few newsmakers has pulled them up. Godavari Power has approved a 1,600 crore investment to scale up its battery energy storage manufacturing project. We also have KEC International saying it's got new orders worth 1,150 crores at the largest for its T&D division. Godavari is up about 2% on the back of that news. And NLC has signed a JV with PTC India to develop up to 2,000 megawatts of green energy products. So that's also in the news right now. But Godavari Power is looking interesting. NLC is also up nicely, 0.8%. But on some of these power, energy, renewable names, Vaishali, we did see some amount of gains coming in last week as well. Godavari itself, or anything else from that basket that you're liking?
So yes, Godavari Power I have been very closely following, and I think the stock is at attractive levels. So I would say it's a good buy, with keeping in mind 220 as support. But for further confirmation, we need this stock to sustain about 250, because the long-term trend looks so appealing. I think this can do around the 290 to 300 levels in times to come. And I'm also looking at transformers and rectifier stocks. So I would look at Voltime transformer, technically well placed. That would be a good attractive buy at these levels. Even transformer and rectifier, I think it's done with its corrective move. This looks promising from here on. So yes, overall this sector looks very attractive.
$9.41. We have the first 20-25 minutes of trade with us, and it's a back foot for bulls on Dalal Street. That's because of weakness creeping in from all of Asia, all of Wall Street, and of course the rupee now hitting a fresh record low, 90.6 for you. That's weakness for everything across the market except metals, except precious metals, and to some extent IT stocks, but all of them, all in IT is also not doing well. In terms of selling pressure, it is ONGC, 50% of 5-day average traded, 2.8% lower at 231. There is selling pressure on endurance technologies from the auto ancillary space, down 2.5%. Profit booking on national Insurance, NIACL, Hyundai, Tejas Network, Emcure, RECL. These are stocks that are falling on substantial volumes in the first half an hour of trade. And in terms of most active counters, we've marked Indigo, we've marked Geojit, and surprise, actually no surprise at all, Aabha on the NSE 500, the top traded counter is now Hindustan Zinc. That's really good given the strength that you are seeing in silver. Aabha.
Yes, Hindustan Zinc continue to go from strength to strength this morning. We've got some amount of volume activity, at least in NHUL. I mean, it may not be showing amazing gains, but some amount of action. Amber Enterprises is moving up this morning as well. Just a smattering of names here and there that are seeing some amount of action. Vishali, anything particular on your list that you're tracking?
Well, it's really hard to take a pick right now, but well, I continue to stay positive on the stocks that we already mentioned. So, if you talk about Hindustan Zinc, of course, it's not a fresh buy right now, but I would continue to have a positive view because above 560, 670 levels, this is ready for a target of 600, 620. So, this is one stock that I am comfortable with right now.
Incidentally, GMR Airports is near a 52-week high, so that one can keep an eye on right now. Shriram Finance we've been talking about through the morning as well, so that's another one there. A couple of these names that are standing out a little bit. Canfin Homes, Shriram Finance, Shell was pointing out some of these financials, and GMR Airports seems to be looking good. Vishali, I'm just going to pull that one out and see if you have a check on it.
Yes, so as a disclaimer, we have been recommending this stock to our clients, and I would say 100 acts as a good support, and this would go towards 110, 112 levels as a trading strategy. This is one of the stocks, and I also recommended NBCC as the day began, and that is also doing well. So I would stay focused on this stock as well.
45, ladies and gentlemen, the first half an hour of trade has favored the bears. What's looking weak across the board is also the FNO expiry, which is coming in tomorrow for the Nifty. So 2 days of gains, Thursday and Friday, 280 points in total, that the bulls collected around a 50-day EMA. That is now half of it taken away by the market. 140 points are already in the red, and the only respite that you see in the market is metals. That's a global liquidity driven rally that's happening, and of course precious metals being where they are, their equity proxies such as Muthoot Finance, such as NLC India, such as Hind Copper and Hind Zinc are in top form. So that's the status for today. Aabha, over to you.
All right, I think we'll let Vishali go at this point. Share will take a break. Lots more coming up for you. Thank you, Vishali, and we'll continue to track the not so much action, but perhaps a little bit of where we find some amount of movement on individual stocks. So keep of course your eyes on the screen. We'll be back with lots more here on Business Today. Thanks for watching.
From overnight global cues to live Dalal Street moves, we decode what matters for your money today. From stocks to sectors to the